D&D can be played in a number of different ways. Each DM has their own style of play. Each player plays in their own unique way. The way a D&D campaign can be run can change depending on the setting or the type of campaign, whether it be homebrew or pre-written. Expecting somebody to play D&D in a certain way is not something you should be doing. There's a reason the Matt Mercer effect is considered a negative thing. Expecting a certain DM or a certain player to play in a certain manner that they are not used to is not a good thing. And I don't want to have this video come across as me saying this is how you should play D&D, because you can play D&D any way you want. That is the beauty of D&D. That's why I love it personally. But I think Belkinus Necro Hunt is an amazing example of how to do D&D right. Everything from the characters to the DM to the backstory to the music to the art hits the nail on the head perfectly. And I think it is a good watch for any early DMs or even experienced DMs that want to see a good way to play D&D. Again, you don't have to play D&D like this. D&D can be played any way, but if you want to find some inspiration or you're still trying to get yourself situated as a DM, like myself, I'm still pretty early to DMing and just D&D in general, I recommend Belkinus Necro Hunt. What is Belkinus Necro Hunt though? Belkinus Necro Hunt was a D&D campaign streamed on Twitch and hosted by JoCat. You may know this man for his various achievements, like his crap guide to Monster Hunter, or his crap guide to D&D, or that one video he made that was pretty cool, I guess. It is also headed by a cast of 4 great players. You have Whistle While You Work playing Luna Icewind, Yarrow Shine, I am so sorry, playing Enoch Solomon. You have Cami-cat playing Renee, I'm not going to attempt that. And then you have Chappie Davy playing Nathaniel Gaidensby. And point 1 for this being an amazing D&D campaign starts with these players. Everybody here plays their characters amazingly. The tension in some scenes, the excitement and the sorrow, everything is played expertly here. These characters feel real, and it is all thanks to the players. They are able to portray these characters, each of them unique and different. They clash with each other, they grow off of each other. It is all expertly done here. Some say a campaign can only be as strong as the players that play in it. A DM can put lots of effort into a campaign, but if the players don't resonate with this kind of energy, if they don't put care into the way they play, it's not going to be as enjoyable. And what I'm talking about here is I specifically mean it wouldn't be as enjoyable as a viewing experience, as a Twitch streaming experience. I just kind of want to clarify that. It could be fun depending on the players you're playing, if you're playing a more chill campaign, but having less interactive players wouldn't make a good streaming experience. And everybody here plays their characters perfectly. And since this campaign has no visual for the players have to be extra elaborate on how they do what they do. And even though there is no camera, I can always picture what somebody like Renee or Enoch to do, how they act and gesture, because the players themselves add a lot of description and character to their movements. Session 1 wouldn't have been as fun as it was if it weren't for them. And the way these characters are written, their backstories, their secrets, it's really unique and interesting. I'm a sucker for characters with dark, gloomy backstories and secrets, hence why I love Rogue, but everybody plays it off well here. I especially love Luna. Luna, my personal favorite, and the way Whistle While You Work, or Shelby, the way she's able to play her character, the kind of torment she kind of feels, trying to figure out what is her. I'm not gonna try to spoil much, but all her secrets, she's able to play it off amazingly. Everybody else is as well with their secrets and their dark moments. They're able to play this well, and they give room for the other players. While recording this, I kept mentioning the dark moments and the gloominess a lot, mainly because those are really emotional scenes. But these players also play off the happy and joyous moments extremely well. The comedy and the humor a lot of these players put out there during the campaign, both out of character and in character. It makes these people feel real and alive. Everybody here clashes off each other really well. You could have a really good character, but if they hog the scene too much, it'll bog everything else down because nobody else will get to participate. But here, all the characters have good chemistry, and so do the players. The clash between Enoch and Nathaniel, and the friendship Renee forms with everybody else. It's adorable, and I love it. The players here are a big reason Belkinus, I think, is so amazing. But, as I said, a D&D campaign can only be as good as its players. Well, it also works the other way. A D&D campaign can also only be as good as the DM, and JoCat is a pretty damn good DM. It doesn't surprise me to hear that Belkinus is a 5-year project, JoCat playing it with other people and writing this world, because it really shows. The attention to detail, everything about this world, I love. The art style they choose. And I also want to mention, it's not just JoCat doing the art. There's plenty of artists who helped with this project, and they've done amazing work here. Everything looks beautiful. Even the D&D battle maps look amazing. I just use Dungeon Painter Studio. I feel like I'm using cardboard boxes compared to the Van Gogh paintings JoCat's using for his. Also, the mere concept, the basis of Belkinus Necro Hunt, a world where necromancy is kind of shunned and looked away from. When you think about it, not something extremely unique. Necromancy, in most forms of fantasy literature, is usually looked down upon. Messing with the dead and raising the dead, it's usually a bit iffy, because, you know, if I die, I don't want somebody using my corpse as cannon fodder. But the way JoCat's able to wind this narrative, again, I don't want to spoil too much. I genuinely suggest you go watch this. If you're not really into watching 5 to 4 hour long streams, up on JoCat's channel are edited down and condensed parts of the campaign. Sure, they're still a couple hours long, but the filler and the breaks are cut out. It's just the campaign. And the editors leave room for when there are those jokes, when they break character, and it makes it, you know, feel more real, like an actual D&D campaign, and not just some edited experience. So if you don't want to stick for the stream VODs, go check out JoCat's channel. I'll obviously have it linked in the description. For the, 5 people here who haven't already heard about him. I tried to go this whole video without saying any spoilers, and if you still want to avoid spoilers, skip to this time mark. But I have to mention something. Session 14 and the Karamaharian fight.
She simply clutches her hands as you can feel the wrappings of these hands holding you tighter. You, there. You have the nerve to come to my home from the land that persecutes my people, the one that strips us of all our rights and our practices. And you demand answers of me. Do you have any idea who I am? What I've done? How much I've hurt? I am the mother of necromancy in Belkinus. I was conjuring before any of you had a single breath on this wretched land. And she starts to pace back and forth before stopping and turning to you. I am the high priestess of the necromancers of Cloveway. And you are not welcome here. And everyone's gonna roll for initiative.
I think it is the epitome of what this campaign is. It shows everything that is good about it. The music, the build-up, the characters. It's just so good. I got jittery. I go back to listen to it just for this video, and I still got jittery listening to the build-up to the fight. Everything about it is just really well made, and I think perfectly shows what this campaign is, or the strengths of this campaign. It really shows the strengths of the players and the DM, how all the players are trying to survive this fight, but not exactly fight, trying to calm her down and tell their story to her. And the way JoCat's able to play Karamahari and her, like, the torment she feels and her being conflicted about what's going on, it just blends well, like a perfect D&D smoothie. But the world of Belkinus is really interesting. You can tell he's put detail into it. There's backstory, and it's not just revolved around one thing. There are several events that have happened, and there are several characters who've been hurt by main events. It's, again, without spoiling too much, I can only just say it's good, and the passion, time, and care that JoCat put into this clearly shows. And then lastly, what I could say is this campaign visually looks amazing. Like I said, there are a lot of artists that also worked on this besides just JoCat, and they did amazing work. I love the layout JoCat has for streaming, just the way everything is formed. It just looks nice. I swear, if I had a nickel for every time a character portrait was put on screen and everybody freaked out at how hot they looked, I'd have quite a few nickels. And that's, I think, just a testament to how good a lot of the art looks. And I think the reason Belkinus is also such a fun experience is because it has one of the key traits that another well-known D&D stream has. Yes, I'm talking about Critical Role. I was really trying not to mention Critical Role while bringing up this video, but I have to admit it here. Critical Role is in partly so enjoyable because it's just friends playing D&D. Sure, there's production quality. You have people mixing audio, you have sets, and these are professional actors who are playing their characters. But at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of nerds sitting down playing D&D. And Belkinus Necro Hunt is just a bunch of nerds sitting down playing D&D. And that's kind of all I gotta say. I'm really holding back here. There's a lot more I want to say, but I also don't want to spoil things. I genuinely think you should watch this. Session 1 for Belkinus Necro Hunt has probably been the most fun I've had watching or listening to a D&D stream. I enjoy Critical Role, but I will admit I don't watch many D&D streams. I just don't find the time. I'm always doing something else, and whenever I put something on the background to listen, I end up pausing it to focus on what I'm doing. But I've listened and watched all of Belkinus, and Session 1 is a big hook. If it's not being sold to you, at least watch Session 1, and if you don't like it, go your merry way. But I highly recommend it. And it's, again, good for any aspiring DM or player who want to get a good feel on what a good D&D campaign can be. And lastly, I'm just going to say this one last time. You don't have to do this. You don't have to play like JoCat. You don't have to play like these players. You don't have to copy Belkinus one for one to get your own D&D campaign. A big part of D&D campaigns is the way the DM puts their personal spin on it. But it doesn't mean you can't take bits and pieces. Take inspiration. Being a DM is just a giant plagiarism act where you watch someone else do something and then you do it yourself. I would be remiss. My main D&D campaign that I'm hosting, I kind of borrowed the start of Belkinus Necro Hunt for. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See ya. Peace.